Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another Thoughts video. I'm Beard on Fire, and we've been playing a lot of Once Human. I have 30 and a half hours into the game, and I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about the game, what I'm thinking about it. We'll go over the various systems and just kind of talk about what I'm thinking. I do overall plan on continuing to play the game, even though there are some pretty glaring issues. But jumping in, so this game is a mashup. It's a mashup of a ton of different game types. So it's an MMO. It's a survival game. It's got building elements. It's almost gacha-esque, all right, but without pay to win. And the list probably goes on. I just don't have the words to actually describe what all these different game types are. But kind of like jumping into at least the RPG mechanics of it, we've got your character, right? So you're playing a character through the course of the game, and you level them up. So you level up through a system called memetics. So it's kind of like an arc-style progression where as you level, you get points that you can allocate to different... They call them memetics, which are basically formulas for base building structures, facilities that you can build inside of your base, functions that those facilities can do, like refineries, refining different types of ore, that kind of stuff, furniture, that kind of thing. And also every 5 levels, you get a specialization point that you can turn around and spend so that you can get better at certain aspects of those facilities. So either better resource gathering, you can make blueprints, you can resource refine better, like that kind of thing. That is random. You can re-roll, but that kind of dives into another system that we'll cover a little bit later. Also within that, so we mentioned arc style, right? So we've got a heavy survival element in this game, which is still MMO, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But the base building system is fantastic, and it's also vital. So if you're not into base building, you're probably not going to like this very much. However, having said that, it's super easy to make just a big box fort that you can just stuff all of your vital facilities into, your upgrade benches, your refining, all of that. You can jam it into a room with just enough space so you can navigate around, and you're going to be good to go. You can go and play the game. You'll be absolutely just fine. But unlike Ark or Valheim or other survival games in the genre, they actually make it really easy for you to make something nice, to make a big, beautiful base that you'd want to show off to your neighbors. And they do that with a few things. One, the resource grind in the game is a lot lower than you'd experience with other games of this type. Building each individual Lego block of your base doesn't cost a whole hell of a lot. For example, in Valheim, I probably grinded for 3 or 4 hours to make a pretty substantial, nice looking fort. You can see that video elsewhere over on the YouTubes. In here, it only took 15 to 30 minutes. And I had enough to build a nice, good wood. All right, it is wood, but a good wood base. Another huge thing that this has is games like Ark. If you want to build something nice, typically you'd have to go into a creative or God mode. Once Human actually has that built in. When you're in the building menu, you can hit one button. You'll enter basically a free-floating God mode where you can see your character model standing on the ground, but you can actually just float around and place blocks, destroy them, tweak things without ever having to be on the ground. So you don't have to build scaffolding. All right. You don't have to grind like crazy because you get 100% of your resources back every time you dismantle a piece that you've got. And if you accidentally dismantle a chest where you've been storing items, you don't lose everything. Your base actually has a vault where all those items will automatically be placed back into that vault. And that is so nice because that accidental heart attack moment, just knowing that you're okay, is huge. Another thing that I love is that you can pick up and move your base at any time. So in a lot of survival games, you really want to be particular about where you're building your base, that you're close to specific resources. Well, like most of those games, the resources that you utilize throughout the course of the game change. You will be using different resources from different regions as you progress through the game. and you can move your base right along with it at literally zero cost. As you're exploring the map on your motorcycle, you can literally just drop your base if you find a cool spot. Boom. You've got a new base location. You can teleport to it right away. It's still made. It's fully made. As long as the footprint of your base fits within the area that you're looking at, you're absolutely golden. What else is there? Okay, there's also a base defense mode that I haven't even had a chance to try. So there are a lot of things that basically we'll cover at a really high level in this video that I haven't gotten to dig into in my own playthrough. So if you got some statements, you've got some questions about anything, just put them in the comments. Let me know. Gear and upgrading. Okay, there's gear you build, and there's gear you find, and we're talking about your weapons and armor, right? You're really disincentivized in Once Human to use the gear you find because you cannot repair it. When it's gone, it's gone. If you spend some time upgrading it and spend some resources upgrading it, it's gone. Once that durability runs out, you're just finished. And you got to be specifically careful when you're in a screen that we'll talk about a little bit later on called the calibration screen. If you can accidentally calibrate and spend resources on an already piece of broken gear that you cannot repair. So be mindful of that. And devs, that would be awesome if you could fix that, because boy, that would really, really suck. Gear that you can build. So there's a ton of customization you could do to your gear. You've got craftable blueprints that you can build, you can find, you can gamba for. And then those blueprints that you build can be further upgraded with calibration, mods, and in the case of weapons, accessories. There's also craftable food and drink, one-time use items, automation, which normally scares me away from a game like this. You'll never catch me watching a game like Satisfactory or playing a game. I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna play a game like Satisfactory or Factorio or anything that involves heavy automation. This game has automation light, definitely not to the level of those other games that I just mentioned, but it seems simple enough where I'm going to approach it. I will do automation in my playthrough just to give it a try and see if I can actually figure it out, because it's not quite as daunting as some of those other games happen to be. In the game, you'll also find deviations, which are like Pokemon-esque little creatures, little buddies that will help you either collect resources, just kind of hang out at your base and do kind of cool territory stuff. They'll help you craft new and unique items. They can even help you in combat. They're very cool. There's a lot more to say about those. I'm not going to give anything away, though. You do capture them in a variety of ways in the game, and it is fun. It's a fun aspect. If you want to do 100% collectible, gotta catch them all run, go for it. I think you'll have a blast. The map for the game is huge. There's a ton to explore. You can zoom in and you can see all kinds of different icons. You can hover over different icons to see the level of the enemies in the area, the resources that are available if you happen to go there, a little check mark if you've already completed that area. And it's a really easy way as you explore the game to find where you should be going next, because you can easily see your character level on that same screen, and then you can see exactly what you should be going after next. I just realized my video ran out. Let's get that on replay again. There we go. You've also got world events that pop up, which are called public crisis events. These are things you can do with other random people in this MMO world. You've got workshop defense, same thing. You can use those two things to gather unique resources. And the travel just feels good. Cruising around on a motorcycle feels awesome. It's a beautiful game, gorgeous vistas. Again, you can always be scouting out for your new base location, which is something I enjoy. The motorcycle animations are a little bit weird. If you did take a corner, they take a corner in the game, you would 100% be a smear on the pavement in real life, but that's fine. And the teleportation system that you unlock as you play through the game also feels good. GPS, though, little wonky. that handles the roads pretty well, but it sometimes just kind of gives up. It's kind of like having a partner in the passenger seat who's helping you navigate that you pissed off and they don't actually tell you why. And instead they get all passive aggressive, like, oh, you want to take a left? Fine. Just go in that direction. Figure it out for yourself. It's that kind of a situation. Questing. You've got generally two different types of quests. You've got the classic, like, find NPC on the map. NPC tells you to go do a thing. You go do that thing on the map. You come back either to that NPC or a different NPC and you get your reward, right? And then you've also got the menu hell rewards. So as you're playing through the game wants to incentivize you to do like all the different activities that you can do, and there are a ton. But rather than have one place where you go to unlock the various, resources or bonuses or whatever that you get as you're playing the game, they have like 1,000 different pages that you have to navigate to. And it's really difficult to figure out. So just be aware if you don't catch the on-screen notification that pops up whenever you do complete one of those little objectives for these, I call them menu hell quests, then you've got to go navigating the menus, and it's not always easy to find out exactly where you went. You can hit the escape key and see like a list of menus. If you're not paying attention, there's like another like secondary list to the right. And there's even an in-game V menu that you can hit to do a particular quest type. It's on a board, and I forget what it's called, a commission board. So if you have a commission, there's even a third way that you can get to that commission board, which drives me insane. That really needs to be like consolidated down. So just be aware. That's something that you could be getting into. Another thing about the game is the dialogue animations are completely and totally unnerving. Sometimes NPCs are fully voice acted and animated, and they look really good. And the voice acting sounds great, although the dialogue spoken versus the dialogue written in the captions is totally different sometimes. But other times you'll be talking to an NPC and they have full voice acting, but there's no lip animation, no movement whatsoever. And they just give you like the blank stare into your soul. Then sometimes there's no voice acting and you just have to read the captions and you get that same blank stare. Or occasionally they will be animated, but there's no voice acting. Like there are a lot of lanes to pick from. And once human devs decided to drive down all of these lanes at the same time, like every single one. So and this could be literally the same quest you have with one NPC. You've got a mix of those three things. And your own character is absolutely insane. The animation that your own character goes through is nuts. So they're way over. They're not voice acted at all, and the body language is just over the top. They really remind me of like a horror movie victim that just had their mouth sewn shut, like they're moving their arms and flailing around that much every time they have a reaction. Otherwise, they're just sitting stoic, like Cloud Strife and old school Final Fantasy VII. Like, it's such a weird mix of the two things, and it doesn't always make sense with the timing and when that happens. Combat in the game feels awesome. Gunplay feels good. Melee feels good. The rolls feel good. The jumping and the map navigation as you're like moving around each point of interest feels fantastic. It's a third person game, right? So it plays like in combat wise, it plays like The Division or The Division 2. That's really the closest thing that feels like to me. And yet it's actually really easy to switch between third-person ADS, aim down sights, and first-person ADS in the middle of the game too. So if you like playing snipers or like crossbows, that kind of thing, really easy to switch between your third person and your first person if you want to actually get those precise shots in. And I loved the way that feels. Also, each weapon feels unique. Like, I want to craft each type of weapon so that I can experience each type and exactly how it feels so that I can really explore my own playstyle. A lot of people, I think, would just jump in and choose one. The game is good enough, the combat is good enough where you really want to just try everything out at least once to really develop exactly like the playstyle that you want to give it a try. And you can even summon your Pokemon in battle. Your little deviations can come and help you out too, and they're awesome. The last thing that I want to talk about are the seasons. Now, this is what fills a lot of the community with dread, and I think is going to keep a lot of people from playing this game, at least picking it up until this is figured out. So the game has 6-week long seasons. And that season includes all the quests, the maps, the bonuses, the rewards, everything that you get, all the progression is done in a 6-week period, after which your progression is wiped. Save some things, okay? So the blueprints you unlock, you get to keep, and I believe the cosmetics that you unlock over the course of the game, you also get to keep. So you do get to keep some things, but I think me and just about everybody else who's watching this game is really wondering how this 6-week season is going to play out, because that's, one, a really small amount of time for a player to dive into the game and experience all the game has to offer, especially if you have a full-time job or even a part-time job, let's be real, and a life that you live outside of gaming. And two, like, really, we're going to do a brand new map, a new set of quests every 6 weeks with all of the events and all of the other, like, the work that has to go into that as a development team. I'm really surprised that that's their plan, and I'm wondering how that's going to shake out, and we all are. And I think that brings us to the last piece, which is just like, hey, this is a free-to-play game. This is a free-to-play game, so how are they making money? They're making money through microtransactions. And the microtransactions, thankfully, are not generally pay to win. They are cosmetics, but those cosmetics, at least this is my own experience so far, those cosmetics do include emotes. And some of the quests, and especially those world events, they require you to do certain emotes that are not default emotes, so that you actually need to unlock. In this case, the one that I needed was a dance, and I needed to unlock it through not the free battle pass, but the paid battle pass. So would you consider that pay to win? I mean, I'm definitely blocked from doing that content. So that was kind of a bummer to find out. And also, it wasn't clear to me that I was blocked from doing that content. So little bit pay to win, just a little bit. But for the most part, it's just cosmetics. And it sounds like each cosmetic currently is tied to one individual character of yours. But the devs have done a fantastic job of communicating with the community. And they are making that change so the cosmetics are unlocked for all characters. That is coming later on down the road. If you have bought a single cosmetic for multiple characters, meaning you've bought it multiple times, you will be getting a refund for that. And that's very cool. And just in general, it sounds like the development team has been in really good communication with the community overall. So if you pay attention, if you download the game, or if you just watch their news page, they have an update just about every 2 or 3 days about small tweaks, changes, situations that they're making with the game. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. And I've been really curious about who this development team is. So the developer name is Starry Studios, and I haven't been able to find anything about them. I don't know who their CEO is. I don't know who any of their lead developers are. I don't know what other games they've worked on. I have no idea. So I love their communication. I love their style. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their credentials are, but it seems like they're doing a good job. And I'm really looking forward to playing some more Once Human. You can check out more of that. We go live on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, currently at 10 a.m. Pacific. Hope to catch you there. Really appreciate it. Peace out.